This is Leadership Plus. I'm Dave Edwards. I often think that it must be terribly frustrating to be a basketball or a football coach or a hockey coach at a college level. You're doing a lot of recruiting all the time. You're trying to find the best possible players and you groom them. You take them from maybe their high school level where they were really great and you make them even better in college. And so you have them for a few years and then they leave, they graduate, they move on. Or if you've cultivated a really good player, they might not make it all 4 years with you on your college team. It's got to be very, very frustrating. And in some respects, it's very frustrating in the world of business as well. You hire someone who you think is going to be an absolute superstar, and let's say they turn out. They're absolutely great. And then after a little while, they get a little itchy and they move on. They find a new job. And that's why you can't take your hardworking employees for granted. You know, there's a tendency for managers to spend most of their time with the people who need a little extra help. Maybe they need more training or a little more motivation. But the truth is, you have to spend time with your superstars as well. A Gallup survey once reported that the main reason why star employees leave for another job is because they don't feel appreciated. And yet, many managers spend a lot of time trying to improve a slacking employee while not spending the time they should with their star employee. Here are some things you might want to implement. Make sure you praise outstanding work and be very specific about it. Just walking up to somebody saying, "Hey, Joe, you do really great work," well, that's nice. But if you can point out something very specific, "Hey, Joe, I noticed when you worked on this project that you put a little extra effort into verifying the data. That's really a great job." Written thank you notes are better than emails. I mean, I know we live in an email world, and I'm just as guilty about this as anyone else. But if you want to congratulate somebody, send them a little handwritten note. I had an instance once where I dropped a handwritten note to one of my employees, and I didn't think anything of it because I was just sort of what I did. But then much later, there was a party, and the spouse of that employee came up to me and said, "Hey, that note you sent to Joe really meant a lot to him. He brought it home and he showed me and he showed the kids." I didn't even think it would have that kind of an impact, but obviously that handwritten note really did. Here's another tip. Treat your workers like professionals. I know sometimes, managers want workers to stay late and work on a project, but I've always said, treat people like adults. If their kid's having a soccer game, let them go see the soccer game in the late afternoon and not make them work late. I mean, they'll appreciate it. And let's be also honest that if you make them stay late, they're thinking about their kid's soccer game anyway. Offer opportunities for professional development. And rather you just signing someone up for a course, ask your employees, what kind of training would they be interested in? Oh, and I've often found that high-flying employees have a lot of interesting ideas rattling around in their brains. Give them a little time to work on their pet project, particularly in a downtime. Give them some latitude to try some new things. Let peers make recommendations for recognition. Offer lunch with the boss. I think it means a lot to people who don't regularly get to talk with the CEO or a senior manager, particularly in a large organization. If that person reaches out and says, "Hey, let's go have lunch. I want to hear what's on your mind." Can you arrange VIP parking for your star employee of the month? If an employee does something really special, maybe set up a program where you reward them with an extra half day off. You notice I haven't mentioned monetary rewards, like giving someone a big raise. I found that most people, while they always like more money, a bigger raise is just a bigger number on the paycheck. And, sometimes you can have a greater impact on somebody's life if you're able to, use petty cash or maybe your own cash to, buy them a movie card or an Amazon card or a card to the movie theater. That shows appreciation at a much different level. Of course, if you can get them a raise, they won't turn that down either. None of these ideas will work for that poor college coach with their recruits, but they could work for you. And maybe you can think of other ideas that will help motivate your star employees to stay. That's today's Leadership Plus. I'm Dave Edwards. Hope you liked it. In fact, hit the like button below. Subscribe, leave a comment below, and if you'd like to read more about leadership, management, and productivity issues, I invite you to check out my website at daveedwardsmedia.com.